G'day everybody. I want to talk about suicide and what can help and what the government and people could do to make sure suicide rate is down, and what not to do when someone has done previous actions and is talking about suicide and in a position that is not a good position. It means, like in a jail cell, something like that. People make threats all the time, we know this. But doesn't mean you have to ignore it. We get told that we have rules to prevent things like this. But we constantly hear sectors failing in these rules. It fails a lot, these sections, in all sorts of ways, in all sorts of sections. Not because the section doesn't know what to do or what to say. It's because the people that work in these sections, mind state is not right for the section. As in, they might believe or do other actions besides the section that they're working in. So, when it comes to suicide and someone's threatening and it's in this position where they're in care of others that are meant to be there to care for you, as they class themselves as professionals and have thousands of scripts about it. If these sections fail on the scripts that they talk about or present to the world they are, then they need to go through some sort of punishment to learn. It's a natural punishment. Without that natural punishment, and have no punishment, there is no real learning. It's like when a child comes to you and you've told them and they do first click. A lot of times they don't. But you say they do first finally understand your point of view, what you've been trying to bring across. And they say, I won't do it again, I will change. But we know that we've heard this many times. Like I said, we don't know they've clicked yet. So what you have to do is you still have to put them through to find out if they have. So they go, I'm going to be nice and do the right thing. Well, you say, well, because you've done the wrong thing, now I'm going to do this. Or we're going to talk about this. Or I'm going to make sure before I do this that you're doing the right thing. So when it comes to suicide, and that can happen in many cases, people love to use what I just said then as control. So you've got to watch out when it comes to that advice. But when it comes to suicide, and someone is threatening, my best advice is that you need to talk, communicate, do actions to the person who's going off their head, down and out, talking about suicide. Either you watch them if they're quiet enough and not crazy enough, and I hope that they get better before you leave them alone, and have a good feeling that you know that more likely the action's not going to happen as you see or have communicated, and they're not talking about it and things like that. Doesn't mean I can do it. But if you don't and you leave them in such a state, the actions, the suicide is going to be high. In fact, if you push a suicide person, you can create the suicide quicker by saying they're not going to commit suicide. You've said it plenty of times. There's two types of suicide people. There's ones that don't say nothing and commit suicide, and then they're those ones are usually people that just can't get their point across that they've already done, they can't explain their feelings properly, so they're quiet. And then there's ones that can, that people don't see their feelings, and they're noisy. And they will do it one day. They usually be, as the ones that are noisy don't want to commit suicide. Same with the ones that are quiet as well. So when someone wants to say they want to commit suicide, really deep down inside, they don't want to. Who really wants to? You need to figure out, why is the suicide thought there? It's there for a reason. Are the actions that you've done onto them, or actions that they can't get through because they can't relate to society? But anyway, when it comes to someone in a cell, for me, that was threatening things and saying things, like I said, you either need to watch them. It all depends on the person. If they're violent, of course, and if they're highly violent, it'd be wise to watch before doing any actions. Eventually, watch and talk with one can talk. But you never leave them alone, and you find out what's happening. You call family, like we've seen on TV before, about people, if someone's suicidal, or even been talking about it, family needs to know. Deep feelings. Your family already knows, they don't need if they've told the family before. But if they don't know, well, family needs to know, because if it happens, who gets in more trouble because of non-communication? To save problems, communication helps save problems further down. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because I'm having a shower and I've gone too long. So have a good one, and I hope what I've said helps when it comes to people talking and threatening about suicide. Definitely in certain positions. So, like I said, people can say it a lot, and if you know that they can heal and they're in a position to heal because they're not stuck in a cage, right? They're free, then they're different. You can treat them differently than the ones you need to in a cage. Have a good one.